Hey, do you mind subscribing just before this video starts? Thanks, appreciate it. Here are 3 North Korean investments you should consider. Number 3. Beach resort property. As President Trump concluded his summit with Kim Jong-un, he made an interesting comment about how North Korea has some great beaches and they could develop some great condos. You know, he's kind of right. North Korea is known for having some of the most beautiful and pristine beaches in the world, particularly on the East Coast. But how much would a condo set you back? A really good house in Pyongyang, built in the last 25 years or so with a supply of hot and cold water and an individual bathroom, would cost you around $100,000. So a prime beach property may cost you slightly more than that. Wonsan is where you want to be. In his 2018 State of the Union address, Kim Jong-un made this coastal town about 2 hours from Pyongyang a development priority, and satellite images show he's been true to his word. Construction is buzzing. In fact, 150 buildings have already been built this year. Number 2. North Korean debt. Investors that are hungry for massive returns are licking their chops at acquiring North Korean debt. The bonds are currently trading around 20 to 30 cents on the dollar. But if a peace deal actually comes to pass, the profits would be astronomical. There's about 1 billion or as much as 5 billion in debt out there. The reasons why the bonds are so cheap is they've been in default for the past 20 to 30 years. The good news is if Kim Jong-un is serious about becoming part of the international community, he must honor those debt commitments, and that could be a windfall for investors. The bad news, this isn't a mom and pop game. The typical deal size is at least $5 million. Not to mention, it can be pretty tough to track down anyone who actually owns these bonds. Some have had success buying on the Euroclear system, but keep in mind it could take weeks to actually clear the transaction. But if you have $5 million lying around, you'd be a fool not to get in on this action. Number 1. Rare earth minerals. If you're looking for a great investment, North Korea boasts vast stores of minerals, which could be worth upwards of $6 trillion. Many of them are rare earth minerals like erbium and thulium. They also happen to be a key component in fiber lasers. Fiber lasers are a recent innovation by scientists at the University of Maryland that allow lasers to be shot much farther and maintain their destructive impact. By 2021, they are set to be installed on U.S. fighter jets and attack helicopters, according to some defense analysts. Many say this is the tech that will revolutionize the U.S. military, and some point to Trump's announcement of the Space Force shortly after the summit as an indication that North Korea is going to be our main supplier. So how do you profit? Keep a close eye on companies like Neo Performance Materials. With tons of experience in the rare earth minerals sector, they could make you richer than you've ever imagined. North Korea is probably the biggest financial opportunity that any of us will ever see in our lifetime, other than Bitcoin, of course. So if you have an opportunity to learn Korean or buy a beachfront property, do it! I promise you, North Korea, if this peace deal goes through, you will be a very, very rich man or woman. If you enjoyed this list, subscribe to Decagon and join our growing community.